It is true that Brittney Griner, once elected, to not stand for the national anthem, particularly with the whole racial justice issues percolating throughout this country a few years back, during COVID, I might add. That is true. But is 10 months in a Moscow prison enough? Alex Stein, is that enough?
The WNBA just got hit with a curveball nobody saw coming, and the internet is going crazy over it. Stephen A. Smith went live on air and started running his mouth about Brittney Griner and this so-called Russian DNA test, and let's just say the WNBA commissioner is not happy about it. Now, let me be clear, I'm not here to spin wild conspiracy theories with no proof. I'm breaking down exactly what was said, how fans are reacting, and why this could turn into one of the messiest PR disasters the league has faced in years. Here's where it gets even juicier. Brittney Griner has already been through global headlines with her arrest in Russia and her dramatic release, but now this brand new twist is dragging the WNBA back into controversy. The league clearly wasn't ready for this storm, and the commissioner's silence is only making people demand answers louder. The question isn't even just, is the DNA test real anymore? It's how much more pressure can the WNBA take before fans, sponsors, and even players start demanding some truth? And it all started with Stephen A. Smith. Yes, that's Stephen A., the loudest mouth at ESPN. Out of nowhere, during a segment about honesty in sports, he casually threw Brittney Griner's name into the mix, bringing up her time in Russia and hinting that a DNA test over there may have revealed things the public was never told. The vibe instantly shifted. This wasn't a random troll on Twitter or a wild Reddit post. This was Stephen A. on mainstream television with millions of viewers watching, planting a dangerous seed of doubt.
You know, when I came into the league, people watch sports for three basic reasons: for rivalries, for games of consequence, and for household names, if you know the players. And we didn't have a lot of household names, even though we had amazing players back then and have amazing players beyond Caitlin and Angel.
The way he framed it was slick. He didn't confirm anything, but he didn't deny it either. He dangled it like bait, and within minutes, TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, were flooded with clips of him saying it. People were shouting, "Did he really just say that?" And for the WNBA, that's the nightmare scenario, because when a personality like Stephen A. repeats a rumor, even one that's been debunked over and over again, it suddenly gets new life. And a whole new audience. And guess what? Right after Stephen A. dropped that little bomb, all eyes turned to one person, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Now, if you don't know, Cathy isn't just some random figurehead. She's the league's very first commissioner, the woman who's been working nonstop to expand the league, pull in big sponsors, and rebrand the WNBA so people take it seriously. She's been the business mind fueling the league's recent rise. But here's the problem. Her silence right now is deafening. Not one statement, not even a simple, "we're aware of the chatter." Nothing. And when you stay quiet in a storm this loud, it doesn't calm anyone down. It just makes the public think you've got something to hide. Fans online are already saying her silence looks like panic mode, and if the commissioner herself won't even shut down a rumor that's been proven false dozens of times before, what does that say about the league's image? Here's the twist. The WNBA is supposed to be in the middle of its biggest glow up ever.
Athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes, be able to play.
Oh, I mean, that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know, everyone deserves the right to play.
Ratings shot up more than 170% last year, and they just added their first new team since 2008, the Golden State Valkyries. For once, the conversation wasn't about empty arenas or struggling franchises. It was about packed stadiums, viral highlights, and serious money pouring in. Sponsors are lining up, networks are covering games like never before, and for the first time in years, the hype actually feels real. But instead of people buzzing about the Valkyries' debut or A'ja Wilson chasing her third MVP title, what's trending online right now? Brittney Griner's deep voice, her body, and a conspiracy tied to a Russian DNA test with zero proof behind it. The league's biggest win is being overshadowed by what could turn into its biggest scandal. And that's exactly what the internet is feeding on. To make things worse, right as the league was celebrating its big opening week, a courtside clip of Brittney Griner went viral on TikTok and X. She wasn't even doing anything wild and just talking to someone courtside. But the audio picked up how deep her voice sounds, and that's all it took for people to start running with the narrative. Just watch this video and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now here's the thing. People who followed Brittney for years already know her voice has always been deep. This isn't some big reveal. It's been part of her story since she was a teenager. She's even spoken about it herself, openly.
I do think it's important to understand that there are millions of Americans who may not say anything, but do share his position. You were in the United States. You didn't want to stand for the national anthem. You wanted to protest some of the things that were going on in this country, which is obviously and totally your right. The flip side, however, is that there are an abundance of people, including many, because I know a few in the military who feel this way.
But for casual viewers who don't really keep up with her, the clip was shocking. It hit millions of views within hours and the comment section went crazy. People were saying wild stuff like, yeah, that's a dude. He gets to dunk on women all day and then shower with them after. Others piled on, writing, that's a man. Never once did I think otherwise. Trolls instantly tried to use it as proof to feed right back into the conspiracy Stephen A. had just reignited. And once trolls smelled blood, they weren't done. Right after the voice clip blew up, they dug up another old video, the infamous shirtless pool footage. You know the one. It's been floating around for years, but every time her name trends, it gets recycled like it's brand new. This time was no different. Defenders stood by Brittney, but trolls kept pushing the same tired narrative, and suddenly the focus was back on her body instead of her game with Atlanta. But here's where it really ties back. Russia.
Okay, explain. So you saved someone from...
We were off-roading, and this family flipped their side-by-side. They tried to stop it from flipping, put their legs out, and shin bone came through on the guy, and then the girl broke her ankle and bone came through. Me and my friends, we jump off, we flipped it back, help them out. I take my shirt off, wrap it around the girl's leg. It's like pulling out blood. And
remember in 2022, Brittney was arrested at the Moscow airport for vape cartridges and sentenced to 9 years. The whole world was watching. After the dramatic prison swap, cameras were everywhere capturing her first appearance. But what most people don't realize is Brittney had already spoken about this topic years before Russia, years before Stephen A. ever touched it. Back in 2015, she did an ESPN feature where she opened up about her voice and how it shaped her life. She admitted her voice was always deeper than most girls her age, and it made her hate the way she sounded. She talked about being mocked for being tall, for not developing like other girls, and for sounding like a boy. That wasn't rumor, that was her reality. She's carried that pain since her teenage years, and if you actually listen to her interviews, you can feel how deep those scars ran. She even said she'd avoid speaking in certain places just so she wouldn't get clowned for how she sounded.
no one would help them, and like there was no cell reception. So we put them on our side-by-sides and we drove them out, and then we waited with them until the ambulances.
When was this?
This was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Oh my God. And
crazy.
Are you're okay with blood and all the gory stuff?
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah, I am.
Oh my God.
With that, yeah.
Was that the last time you felt like a hero?
Yeah, I really felt like a hero in that moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a crazy story.
Fast forward almost a decade and nothing's changed. In 2024, Brittney dropped her memoir, Coming Home, where she went even deeper into how brutal it felt growing up in a body the world never let her just exist in. She wrote about being mocked for her height, her chest, and yes, her voice. Kids told her she sounded like a grown man before she even hit high school. And that's what makes Stephen A.'s reckless comments so harsh, because he wasn't just tossing shade at some random player. He was digging right into the same wound Brittney has been openly talking about for years. And now the pressure lands right on WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. She's the face of the league, the one hyping this as the breakout season, pitching sponsors, selling out tickets, and pushing the WNBA as the future of women's sports. But the headlines aren't about the Golden State Valkyries' big debut or Caitlin Clark pulling record-shattering ratings. No, it's all about Brittney Griner's body and a rumor Stephen A. just threw back into the spotlight. The question isn't whether the league should respond, it's what happens if they keep staying quiet. 2025 was supposed to be the year the WNBA finally leveled up. But with Brittney Griner once again at the center of chaos, the league's big moment could end up being defined by the very controversy Cathy Engelbert hoped would never return. And trust me, this is only getting started, so make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and share this video. I'll catch you on the next one.